I'm gonna give you 3 key simple tips to help you maintain that lean diet, and we're gonna start right now. What's up everybody, it's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in learning about strength and conditioning, you wanna learn about high performance nutrition, you wanna get healthier, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you make those gains. So athletes and clients come to me all the time and they want to know what can they do to get their nutrition in line? What can they do to lose a little bit of weight? Maybe they've got a wedding that they're preparing for. Maybe there's a competition and they compete in a body weight class, so they've got to cut a little bit of weight to make that weight class. Or they just want to feel better. They want to be healthier. They want to be a little bit more active with their kids. These are questions that we get all the time, and they're struggles that everybody can relate to. And one of the things for me personally was I ended up having this neck surgery. And one of the things that the doctor said to me when I got my gland removed out of my neck was, hey, you're a little bit overweight. That could have led to causing this stone. Why don't you get your weight a little bit under control? Not that I was super fat, but I was walking around at about 260 plus. And since now I'm down around 235. And one of those key factors that I had to do was look in the mirror and revisit what I did years ago when I ended up losing about 65 pounds and making it as simple as possible. And that's exactly what I want to provide here is these 3 simple tips are just that. They're nice and easy. They're not going to be precise, detail-based tips that are going to help you figure out the exact macros or figure out nutrient timing and meal timing and all those little details. What we're talking about is 3 simple tips that are going to really help you jumpstart, make that first step into your proper nutrition, and it's going to help this transition into that lifestyle change. And that first key tip is going to be based around that weekly schedule of planning. And so what I like to do when I'm talking about my work, when I'm talking about programming for my clients, for my athletes, for my high performance athletes, when I'm thinking about my own weekly schedule, is that I like to sit down on a Saturday night or a Sunday morning, and I like to lay out all 7 days for the next week and exactly what I have to get done from a work-based perspective. And what I learned is that this is really, really effective when you're planning out your schedule of nutrition. And I think if we can sit there and you can figure out from that weekly perspective, how many calories will you consume in the next 7 days? I want to plan out how many calories I'm going to have in the next 7 days, and then I'm going to break that down. And then on top of that, within that week, I want to provide one day where I get this refeed, where I get about an extra 400 or 600 calories. And so what ends up happening is if I can figure out each day I need to have this many calories, I can divide that by 7, but now I want to take some calories from a couple different days and then divvy it up to day 5. Maybe day 5 is a Friday or a Saturday, and I want to spend some time with my kids. I want to get some ice cream or something, or have some pizza. Well, now I'm planning out that refeed day where I might get an extra 400 to 600 calories. And on top of that, I'm already planning out my weekly calories. And then finally, when I plan out that full week, I can meal prep. And what that ends up doing is it makes your life a lot less stressful. You can sit there and you can meal prep. And what I like to do is actually meal prep with my family by buying some food. Maybe we order from a restaurant, and while we're waiting for the food to arrive, I might be cooking some rice, I might be cooking some chicken, I might be cooking some beef for that next week of eating. But while I'm doing that, I'm spending time with the kids, we're cooking, we're enjoying it, and we're socializing. And so when you can plan for that entire week of caloric intake, and then you can factor into your schedule what you're gonna do, and then you have that meal prep, now that weekly scheduling makes your life a lot less stressful, and it's gonna drastically improve your rate of success. The second key tip that I love for the lean diet, right, is going to be based around embracing other cuisines. So a lot of people fail with diets because they just put themselves into starvation mode, or they follow just the keto diet, and then as soon as they start to eat carbs again, they just can't stop eating carbs and they blow up. Or they go on a high carb diet, low fat diet, and then as soon as they start eating bacon again, now they just blow up and they can't stop eating bacon. And they start to just swing back and forth. But one of the key factors behind having a successful diet and having a successful lifestyle change is embracing other cuisines that can add some good flavor to your food. So some of the different cultures that I like to engage with might be if I'm ordering Indian food, if I'm eating Jamaican food, if I'm eating Mexican food. Now we have these meals where we can have chicken, we can have rice, we can have a little bit of salsa on top, and it's still a pretty low calorie meal, but it has really good flavor, really good spice. Think about Indian food if we're talking about tandoori chicken. Now we've got tandoori chicken with rice. It's very, very healthy. It's tasteful, so you're more likely to stick to your meal plan. Because oftentimes when people get bland food over and over again, they get sick of it and then they fall off the wagon. So make sure that you're engaging with these different cuisines. Make sure that you're engaging with different cultures. Think about sushi. If you like fish, you need to get more vitamin D. You need to feel better. And one of the best things that I ever did was when I started to eat quite a bit of sushi, I spent some time in Tokyo and I was there for about a week and a half. I was eating sushi almost at every single meal. When I came home, I ended up losing almost 11 pounds. One, because I was working out a little bit more, but two, because I engaged with that culture. And so if you can pick out, maybe it's one culture one week, it's another culture the next week, it's another culture the following week, and that can factor into you sticking to your diet and enjoying the taste of your food, because that is going to be that second key tip that leads to you sustaining that lifestyle change. That third simple tip is going to be figure out a way to hold yourself accountable, okay? And when I'm talking about accountability, I'm talking about various different ways. We're all gonna fall off the wagon to a point, but we need to have that sense of accountability. So it might come down to, are you weighing yourself every single day? Are you taking pictures of yourself every single day? And these are two things that a lot of people don't want to engage with. They don't want to weigh themselves every day. They don't want to obsess over the scale, and that's perfectly fine. But just because you're weighing yourself every single day doesn't mean that you have to obsess over the number. What ends up happening is you start to see trends. And if you can think about it logically, if you can think about that weight check from a logical perspective, you're gonna see fast drop-offs, okay? And when you're planning your nutrition over a full week, you're gonna start to see that in the beginning of the week, you might have 2 or 3 pounds that you drop. And then you might hold that for 3, 4, 5 days. Then you might plan in a refeed, and all of a sudden, the 2 days after a refeed, you drop down again. And that's a key factor with when you're engaging with the weight, with the scale on a regular basis, you start to see it pretty logically. You start to see like, oh wow, there's a couple days I might gain like a half pound. Then there's a couple days that I might hold it. Maybe it's 4 days, I hold the same weight. And then all of a sudden after my refeed, I drop it. And so now you start to see everything happening from a logical perspective, and you start to see the relationship between specific foods and what that does with your nutrition and with your weight. Same thing from a picture perspective. If you're taking pictures on a regular basis, you can see that weight sort of just staying stagnant, but you can still take pictures and take that picture today, which is at day 40, and go back to day 1 and realize, wow, I'm still making progress. That accountability can go a long way, because taking those pictures on a regular basis, now when you're at day 70 or day 80, you're proud of where you've come. You've come a long way, and you want to sustain that because that is holding you accountable. And I think that that's another key factor behind accountability is, what are your goals? If you never set out with a specific goal right off the bat, then it's going to be harder to hold yourself accountable. If your specific goal is, I want to get down to, for me personally, I want to get down to 230 pounds and I want to maintain 230 pounds for at least 6 months, because I know if I can do it for 6 months, that's gonna be there for the rest of my life. I'm gonna stay there for the rest of my life, and as I age, I'll probably drop a little bit slowly over time, right? So that's a big factor for me. And if I can slowly creep down there, I'll be okay with that. And that's a means of accountability because I established that goal early on. Now, another key factor is that if you have a significant other, a spouse, you can also commit to that spouse, commit to your friend, commit to whoever it might be. Hey, can you just hold me accountable? What if I fall off the wagon? Just talk me through it, help me deal with the stress, help me get through this position. That's another sense of accountability. And finally, one of the best means of accountability is making bets about it, right? I know this sounds absurd, but I've lost over 65 pounds winning $1,000 in a bet. And I've lost more weight at different parts of my life, mainly because I've bet my friends, or I've gotten my friends to lose weight because I've bet them that they couldn't do that. We've bet 50 bucks, 100 bucks, just saying, hey, you can't lose 20 pounds, and then you can't hold it for 12 weeks. And what ends up happening is you're gonna end up losing that weight, you're gonna feel better, and even if you lost the bet in that time crunch period, you're still learning how to manage your weight loss. You're still learning those skills, and that's what's gonna go a really, really long way. And these are, again, real simple tricks that you can utilize to improve your nutrition and to get leaner over a long period of time. So make sure you plan for the entire week. You engage with other cultures that have a different taste, that have different tasting food that tastes really good and is healthy. And then finally, that third key factor is make sure that you have some sense of accountability. Now, if you need help with your nutrition, you need a plan that's gonna help you become a healthier version of yourself, click on the link down below, head over to garagestrength.com. You can pick up our high performance nutrition package. It's gonna help you get jump started and get on the way to losing your weight and feeling better about who you are. If you want more videos and more content about nutrition and what you can use to become healthier, click on this video right here. Until next time, guys, peace.